Hey all, Delusions is back again for another deck talk. Been kind of slacking from on you guys. Like I said, been pretty busy around here, so figured to bring a second deck talk and show you what's going on. Um, the deck that I have now, um, the second deck talk I'm gonna do is a revamp of the second deck I ever did a deck talk on, and that was my item control. But this time I've gone a different way with it. I've kind of put my own little spin on it, and it's I call it sort of the Resistance Abuse deck. But sort of the Resistance is a level 1 item that you can activate it for 0. It increases the attack power of your hero by 1 until end of turn. Then you decrease the attack power bonus of this item by 3. And I'll show you how I abuse that as we go on through the video. For my hero, I still use Becker Kraus. Once again, I still only use him at level 4. His first ability is level 3, and then you deal damage to target creature opponent controls where X is equal to the number of items you control. And since Sword of the Righteous is so cheap to cast, I mean, it's not uncommon on your turn 4 or turn 5 to use his ability for 3 damage to a creature, so I mean, pretty solid. His second ability doesn't see play a whole lot. I don't run Rogue in the deck anymore, and it's not very often that I use multiple Sword of the Righteouses in one turn. It has been known to happen, but not very often. So I've only used the ability, I think, twice the entire time I've ever played the deck. So I mean, it does show its face every once in a while, but his third skill is for level 2, increase AP of this hero by 1 until end of turn, then activate the hero. I do use this every once in a while. If I don't have anything in my hand, if I have a lot of higher end drops, and on my second turn, if I need to kill something that that's pesky on their side that might get out of hand, I can much essentially rogue, for 2, get 1 attack power and kill something. Or if I need that extra attack bonus, with the Sword of the Righteous along with that, if I don't have a Maid of Schubert or the new shard that came out that increases Sword of the Righteous attack power by 1, I can use this to kind of supplement it. I use this about 5% of the time. His first skill is the one that I use the most, probably about 95% of the time, and in my opinion, one of the most underused skills in item control. A lot of people play with Irwin, but I like Becker personally. But for level 1 creature, I run Maid of Schubert, and I run 4 of these. She's a 1/1 for 1. When it's set into play, increase attack power bonus of target aspire item you control by 2 until end of turn. So I mean, you play Sword of the Righteous on turn 1, turn 2, they play something big. You can play her on your next turn and give your Sword of the Righteous 3 attack power and kill something. So she's pretty good for cheap weapons. And she is a 1/1 for 1, so I mean, if I don't have a Sword of the Righteous in my hand, I've been known to play her just to get a body out early. At level 2, I played 2 different creatures. The first one is Hero Candidate. He's a 1/2 as a level 2. And he has Training, which is a newer ability that's come out recently. So during your turn, you put a counter on the card for the amount of training it has. So I'd put 1 counter. When she hits 1, she'll get Sentinel. And then when she hits 3, she becomes a 3/3. When she hits 5 experience, she increases the attack power of all the creatures I control. So I just use her because she's a solid 1/2 for 2. And I usually I've got a shard that gives extra training to her as well. So I mean, so she gets to her 3/3 phase even earlier. But like I said, she's a solid 1/2 for 2. And she's proven pretty good in the deck so far. So the other one I run is a new card that came out this month by the name of Slave Soldier. He's a level 2 1/1. When he comes into play, he does do a damage to you. But when he dies, you put a Sword of the Resistance into your item zone. So he since the deck is pretty much based on Sword of the Resistance abuse, it's pretty solid, and it gives me Sword of the Righteous, or sorry, Sword of the Resistance, numbers 5 through 7. At level 3, I run 3 Weaponholics. He's a 1/3 for 3, but when he's sent in the creature zone, he gets plus X attack power equal the number of items you control. And since I'm running so many different ways to get Sword of the Righteous, or versions of Sword of the Righteous, it's not uncommon for him to come out on your turn 4 or turn 5 as a 4/3. And he does have Valor, so he can kill multiple creatures or kill a creature and swing at the opponent's hero for a lot. But I only do run 3 of them because I don't want to clog my hand with them, just in case if I could pull a bunch of him and no weapons, he's kind of worthless. The other level 3 I run for a creature is Faithful Safeguard. It's a 2/3, and when it comes into play, I return target Aspire item I control with level 3 or less to original status. The reason this works so well is because Sword of the Resistance does reduce its attack power by 3. So when you set this card into play, it'll set it back to original status so you can activate it again for 0. And I apologize if I keep calling it Sword of the Righteous. I don't know why, but it's Sword of the Resistance, so just to clarify any miscommunications. Level 4, I only run 2 of these, and it's Warrior of Insurgents. It's level 4, 3/4, that it has Valor and Sentinel both, so it's a good blocker or attacker. The only downfall to it is I can't set creatures on my next turn, but I can get around this with playing one of the items I have, using Becker's ability if I know I'm going to use it next turn, or using one of the spells that I have that'll let me draw cards, which I'll get to later. At level 5, I run 3 Imperial Forces Cavalry. They're pretty much the beef of my deck. He's a level 5/4/5, which is really good. I mean, his downside is whenever he battles a creature, increase the attack power of that creature by 1. But he can usually 2-for-1 just about anything, unless it's a level 5 or higher. So I mean, he's a workhorse for the deck. I mean, he does do a damage to you when he comes into play, so that's later on. That's why I don't run Crimson Knights. Otherwise, I'd be having too many different things that does damage to me when it comes into play. The other level 5 creature I run is probably the workhorse of the deck, and I do run 4 of him, is Siege Troop Commanders. He's a 3/2, and when he comes into play, he deals X damage to target creature equal to the number of Aspire items I control. So with Sword of the Righteous, or Sword of the Resistance is popping out everywhere, more often than not, I will deal 3 damage with him, so he's usually a good 2-for-1. And at level 6, I run 2 Flagbearer of Steel. I do run the arena version of it because it makes it a 4/4 instead of a 5/3, which is good because usually you can take out a couple creatures with it. And what's nice is when he kills something after battle, you put a safeguard into your attack zone. So I mean, you could possibly 2-for-1, even 3-for-1 if you get the other ones into play and start killing other creatures with the safeguard you put into play from him. I do have Leone High Priestess of Hakan. I do run 2 of them. It's an elite, level 8. When she's set into play, increase attack power of target Aspire creature I control by X, where X is equal to that creature's attack power. This is really good if, say, I have like a hero candidate that's a 3/3 and they've got a big blocker in defense, like say an elite that's a 5/5. I can bump him up to a 6/4 or 6/3 and take out that elite and swing with her later on. I mean, she does have a 5 toughness, so she does usually take out 2 creatures. So, but she's also good with like Flagbearer Steel, making him an 8/4, making him killing stuff off of Sword of the Righteous to clear out the defense and then swinging for 8 with him. Or even if she's the only one you put into play, she's a 6/5 for 8, so that's pretty good. Alright, getting to my spells. The first level 4 spell I run is the Last Blow. Sword of the Resistance, one of the shards that I run as well, has Burial. So you're empty, so it'll put cards from the top of your library into your graveyard. This is used to fuel Last Blow. It's destroy target creature opponent controls with level X or less, where X is the number of cards in your graveyard. X cannot exceed 6 and banish all cards in your graveyard. This is pretty solid because it's only one of 2 removal cards. Take that back, 3 removal cards in the game right now that can get rid of level 6 and less, and not just level 5. Darkest Shadow and Lapidification being the other 2. And with as much burial and much card, or when you're trading creatures, more often than not, sometimes I do play 2 in a single game. The other level 4 I run is Sword to Statue. Banish target Aspire weapon ally controls. You draw 3 cards. After Sword of the Righteous, keep calling it Sword of the Righteous. Sword of the Resistance has served its purpose, and I don't have any way to reset it. I'll just sacrifice it to draw 3 cards and get ahead of my opponent after I've gotten full use out of my weapon. In the last spell, or the last magic I run is a level 1 burst. Turn target item ally controls to original status and I draw a card. It pretty much resets the Sword of the Righteous, so I can use it again. Hopefully have it made a Schubart or something else in my hand to buff it up so I can swing with it again. I do only run 2 because Faithful Safeguard does the same thing, and running 8 refreshes of an item can kind of clog your hands. So I only run 2 now, and it seems to be the right number. Getting down to the items, the cornerstone of the deck, like I talked about earlier, Sword of the Resistance. I do run 4 of them. It's level 1. 0 to activate, increase the attack power of your hero by 1, and then decrease the attack power of this item by 3. But with so many different ways to reset it, it's pretty good. And with Made of Schubart and then a shard I'll get to later, you can increase the effectiveness of this by a lot. The other spell I run is Charge Shield. I was running Shield Charge for a while, and it's a pretty solid card, but Charge Shield does the same thing for 1 more. Granted, it's not a magic or a burst, but it destroys target creature opponent controls with level 2 or less, and then I can use it later on for when I'm swinging with my Sword of the Righteous to give my hero absorption, so I'm not taking damage. So I'm pretty much trading cards for free and gaining card advantage that way, but I only do run 2 because I don't want to clog my hands with them. So getting to the lands, I run 2 Fire Layers. Since I don't have a lot of 1-drops in my hand, I don't want to clog my hand too much with these. And it does have Burial 2, which will fill the card that I talked about earlier, the Last Blow. And then it gives Rusher to target a Spire creature I control with 1 or less. So a lot of times, have a Sword of the Resistance next turn, play a Maid, bump that to +3, give the Maid Rusher, kill the creature, and then swing with the Maid for 1 point of damage. I do run 4 Garden of the Emperors. A lot of people would think this is pretty heavy, but this combos off 2 cards in the deck. One of them was Hero Candidate, which is the 1/2 that gets to a 3/3 after it has 3 experience, so this will give it an extra experience. And this also does combo with Charge Shield as well, because you can turn one of their level 3 drops into a 2, and then play the Charge Shield to kill it, which a lot of times happens on your turn 4. Play a Hero Candidate next turn, give the Hero Candidate bonus training, turn their level 3, say attacker, into a 2, play Charge Shield, clear it, and then swing with your Hero Candidate. So pretty solid. Gemstone to Suppress, I do run 4 of these, is decrease AP bonus of weapon opponent controls with level 3 or less by 1. Then you draw an extra card. This is good against other Sword of the Resistances, or even against Giant Piercers, or any other weapons you might see floating around that cost 3 or less. And then the other land I run is Iron Extraction Field. It's a new land out of 5/2. It increases the bonus of target Aspire weapon ally controls by 1 until end of turn, so it gives my Sword of the Righteous the ability to pump for 2 instead of 1 for free, which is really solid. And just in case if I don't have a Maid, or I need to kill something that's got 2 toughness instead of 1. And there's really no downside to it other than I don't draw the card right away, and it'd be at the beginning of next turn. And then the last land I run is Snowfield Border, which just about every deck I play, I think, except for one, just because I have 16 of them, I don't have 20. But when it's set in the Shard Zone, you gain 1 additional mana if you're on the draw. So it doesn't set you as far behind as it used to for not going first. So the tarots I run are the same as almost any deck I played. The Fool is another refresh for just 1 mana. The Hangman is to battle other Hangmans, because if they move on my creatures to my defense zone, I just move them right back. I mean, yeah, I can swing through with weapons, but creatures are the workhorse of the deck, like Weaponholics and the Siege Troop Commanders. I mean, they can 2-for-1 a lot of the times, and I mean, they're what usually do the damage. I usually use my hero to clear the path for them. The Hermit is just pretty much to draw cards, and then the Hierophant is to give me another refresh. So anyway, that's kind of my new take on weapons. It's Sword of the Righteous, Sword of the Resistance abuse. So I apologize for my many mistellings of Sword of the Righteous when it's supposed to be Sword of the Resistance. But hope you guys like my spin on items. I said it's a little bit different than running the giant piercers and stuff, but it's a little bit faster in my opinion, a little bit more. I mean, yeah, it can be a little unstable if you draw maids and no swords, or all swords, no maids, and no beautiful safeguards or ways to refresh them, but that's only about 10-15% of the time, so it's a fun deck to play, fun variation. So if you're looking for something different to try, I'd highly recommend it. So thanks for watching, guys, and as always, leave comments if you'd like, and hit me up in game if you ever want to play. Thanks a lot.